After World War II, a large amount of African American citizens migrated into the state of Wisconsin and the population increased to 600%. Most of the African Americans stayed in Wisconsin cities to raise their families since they were drawn to jobs in the industrial cities that Wisconsin had to offer. As the increase began, Wisconsin residents encountered segregation in housing, employment, and education as the greater numbers came in. Milwaukee became one of the most segregated cities in the nation, and in the 1960s, they were accounted for almost 15% of the population nationwide. Segregation led to riots throughout Milwaukee due to limited job opportunities, poverty, and frustration. These difficulties led to segregated schools and residential zones. In 1954, Brown versus Board of Education of Topeka, Kansas, wanted school segregation to remain spread out. By the 1960s, 90% of the schools were African Americans. However, a year later, in 1964, the Congress of Racial Equality in Milwaukee organized a boycott of African American schools, and by 1965, Lloyd Barbie approached and filed a lawsuit to this problem that challenged segregation within the Milwaukee public schools. Martin Luther King Jr. did visit Milwaukee during this time to support the desegregation campaign by speaking to an audience of 6,000 at the Milwaukee Auditorium. 350 African Americans protested on this desegregation act by marching to the school administration. Soon, the Milwaukee United School Integration Committee, known as MUSIC, ran 3 boycotts during their time period about desegregating the schools, and instead they focused on research and the lawsuit. NAACP won the lawsuit in 1976, and a plan to desegregate Milwaukee schools was enacted in 1979. Today, Milwaukee is an example of a boomerang back to the 1960s. The schools are starting to get segregated once again. For instance, the Lloyd Barbie Montessori School of 92% African Americans that attend there. Other schools in Milwaukee are diverse than the district average, and a school teacher named Amrit Kaur said many parents value the mixing of cultures and backgrounds. Other problems that make schools in Milwaukee about the situation is dealing with the busing of children due to the crime rates that Milwaukee gives, and the demographic shift that has become.